What is going on, Grinders? It's Chief. We're in the building. It is Take Your Pick'em. And thank you so much for joining us, folks. It is Wednesday, June 24th, 2023. And it's a lot of good things on the horizon. We got some PGA that's going to be creeping up tomorrow. So if you're in the prop shop, I know a lot of us will probably be trying to hop in with the PGA. We've got MLB that's rolling. We've still got esports, obviously, that's going. LOL, Dota, and CS:GO as well. Soccer has kind of winded down in terms of things we were doing in the prop shop. But overall, all in all, we June 14th. MP says June 24th. We're in the future. My bad, my man. June 14th. 2023. So sorry about that. Made a little boo-boo there. But at any rate, we are going to kick this thing off with winning words of wisdom. And this was coming from Zig Ziglar. And basically this quote says, positive thinking will let you do everything better than negative thinking will. And that's how I try to live my life, obviously. And I want you to live your life that way as well. And don't fake the funk. Things aren't going to be pleasant all the time, but it's that mindset that will always keep you pushing forward. And the reason why I think that's so important, especially in this business and in DFS, in the pick'em game, is because if you go through a rough stretch, if your mind isn't sharp and you're not thinking forward and having positive thoughts, then you can just keep spiraling down the bad winning cycle there, or bad losing cycle. A lot of times it will affect your thinking. It will affect your decisions. The information that you process, you'll start to view it differently because the winds aren't swinging your way. And so you have to embrace that. There's variance on both sides. And there's going to be good variance. There's going to be some weeks where everything comes together. You don't miss anything. And there are going to be some weeks where things just don't quite swing your way. So always think positive, right? Positive thinking will let you do everything better than negative thinking will. All right, let's get this thing cranked up. I'm going to go over our recap. And yesterday, we only had 2 official plays. We had a special guest. Thanks, Woody, for coming on. Woody from Stat Jocks. Thank him for coming on and hanging out with me a little bit. Yesterday, we pretty much split. We had 2 plays that we wanted to basically hammer in on. And so one of those was Corbin Burns. And we got the win there with Burns. We wanted him over 7 strikeouts, more than 7 strikeouts. And he was able to clear that. And then we also had Weaver more than not Weaver, excuse me. Flaherty. Sorry, Flaherty. More than 5.5 strikeouts. And that one did not come together. Just could not get rolling on yesterday. And so with Burns, like I said, we got the win. With Flaherty, we were not able to get the win. And so that brings our total on the month to 9, 14, and 1. But don't worry, sweep is right around the corner, and we're going to get this thing rolling. So first up on the docket today, one of the plays that I want to look at or wanted to talk about, this will not go in the official tally. Okay, but I wanted to bring it to your attention so that if this is a play that you were on, you could get out and consider it and go play it there. So if you're on the Clevenger under today, so Clevenger is around 4.5 strikeouts across the industry. He is at 5 on Vivid right now, facing the Dodgers. So if that's something you're interested in taking under or less than the projection on, as of right now, you need to get over to Vivid. He is at 5 strikeouts if you want the under on that particular square. Other than that, he's 4.5 around the industry, other places. So did want to bring that up because typically we will find some slight discrepancy sometimes, and that's a little bit of value there. So wanted to bring that up for you in case you were looking at taking less than 4.5 strikeouts. You can get him at less than 5.5 strikeouts or less than that particular projection on Vivid currently. Okay, folks, we're going to bring this up. This is going to be one of our first plays of the day. And we're just going to try to keep this thing simple today, right? Get back to our roots here. And we always want to attack bad offenses, high strikeout offenses. This is where we get our strikeouts from, right? By taking those opportunities. And so first up on the list, we're going to have Luis Castillo. Castillo is sitting at 7 strikeouts currently. across the industry. And what we want to do is we want more than that projection. Similar to what we saw with Burns on yesterday. Burns was facing the Minnesota Twins, who strike out a ton. This team strikes out a ton. And so what we want to do is we want to take that same theory, and we want to attack Miami today with a guy that's really been pitching well recently, and that's Luis Castillo. So Luis Castillo on the season right now has a 29% K rate, 27% to lefties, 31% to righties. Over the past month, we've seen that uptick a little bit to 32%, 29% to lefties, 38% to righties. And as we can see, we saw yesterday with this Miami lineup, the strikeouts are there. I mean, we saw Kirby just mow this team down, and that's with Arraez in the lineup as well, who's really pulling this down, along with Gene Segura. So when I'm looking at it here and I'm looking at Castillo, this is a really good spot. I mean, like I said, he'll have to pitch around Arraez, but a lot of these other guys, he will have an opportunity to get them. And so I think that Castillo will be able to roll past the 7 strikeout number here. We want to look at what Castillo is throwing. And as we can see, fastball, changeup, slider, sinker. And we are going to go ahead and look at those numbers and just kind of see where the lines are for these guys. And so when we look at, I'm going to start with the sinker here. Here we go. So when we look at the sinker, not a lot of strikeouts, which is very interesting. What that's going to do is that's going to keep the ball on the ground. But what I can tell you about Castillo is fastball, changeup, slider. Changeup, slider are going to be his go-tos for strikeouts. And as we get to the slider, we see here, look at these strikeout numbers on the slider. This is going to be one of his main strikeout pitches tonight, I can guarantee you. Soler, De La Cruz, Sanchez, Cooper, all of these guys pretty much around 30%. Joey Wendell around 30%. Segura at 19, Fortes at 27, Davis at 25, right? And then we go to the changeup. We will see some strikeouts there as well, just because of the off speed. And so we go to the off speed, not as bad, but still 24, 24, 30, 23, 23, 42. There will be strikeouts available. At 7 strikeouts, I definitely think this is a good spot for Luis Castillo. Like we said, we're going to keep it simple today. We're going to continue to attack bad offenses that strike out a ton. And that's how we're going to win in the game long term, okay? Long term, we keep attacking these teams, and everything's going to continue to come together for us. All right, next up on the list, we're going to a guy, and this is kind of a prop shop favorite. And I'm saying that because in the prop shop, typically we laugh about it, we cry about it. Ben Lively, the bat tends to not like Cincinnati pitchers, but I'm going back to Ben Lively. I know Weaver didn't come through, but once again, we have to stay true to our principles, at least my principles, and that's how I want to continue to attack high strikeout teams. We've got Ben Lively. He's at 4.5 strikeouts across the industry. I want more than that projection. Got a 24% K rate. On the season, 22% to lefties, 28% to righties, which is fantastic. And then as we can see here, over the past 30 days, it's pretty much going to be similar because he hasn't pitched enough yet to gather the data. But I do think that he can pick up 5 strikeouts against this team. 33% to Prado, 20% for Perez, 28.9% for Melendez, 22% for Witt, 31% for Massey, 17.8% for Oliveira, 33% for Waters, 29% for Garcia, 19% for Nicky Lopez. I think this is a spot, once again, I'm going to continue to ride with Ben Lively. One of the things that I do like about Cincinnati, outside of, I think maybe yesterday with Williamson, they've pretty much, been extending their pitchers a good amount. So most of these guys are going between 90 to slightly over 100 pitches. And so if he's pitching well, hasn't given up a ton of runs, I definitely think Lively is a guy that has the leash to get there. So that's one of the things that I have baked in to my analysis here is the leash that we should see from Lively as long as he doesn't catch a beatdown early in this game. We've seen Lively, in terms of pitches, really dial them up. And I'm actually going to give out a little bit of the bat here. Let's see where we have Lively at for pitches. We'll scroll over here, and I can just type his name in, by the way. We'll type in Lively, and as we can see, we've got it projected for 84 pitches. Now, I'm not sure about that projection. I'm probably going to disagree with Cardi today on that one, just because we've seen this guy. We've seen him pretty much have a really nice pitch counts here. Let's see if I can pull it I don't think it's going to give it to us on this particular screen. But yeah, he's been well over 90 pitches a couple games and went over 100 the last game, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, so I really like Lively over 4.5 today. And we've got Luka 85. He said, so that's over 4.5 under Lively. He's going to go with the under. No problem, Luka. We'll disagree on that one. I'm going to go with more than 4.5 today. This is definitely a spot that I think the strikeouts are there for him in this particular game. All right, we're moving to our next play here. And this is another one where I'm going to side with what we've been seeing from this team. And I don't like this pitcher. I'm going to tell you that right now. I am not thrilled. Yeah, Luka, we're going over or more than 4.5 for Lively. Yeah, going more than 4.5 for Lively. I don't like this pitcher. On to the next one. I don't like this pitcher. I want to make that very clear. I am not thrilled about this next pitcher that we want to talk about, but I really can't avoid it. Like, this team as a whole has been so bad. I mean, they've been terrible. And that's going to be the Minnesota Twins, folks. I think we have to take Colin Ray today. And that's – I'm not thrilled about it, but at 4.5, I think we're going more than that projection. When we look at the strikeout rates for this team, 33%, 22, 25, 33, 21, 28, 36, 21, and 35. We've just seen this team be god-awful almost every start. And I'm going to side with Ray here. He's at 4.5. The projections I don't think are going to agree with this, but I think they will have him around 4. I'm just going to roll with the fact that this team overall, 26% K rate overall on the season. Even the last 30 days, Ray hasn't been spectacular. But he does have some strikeouts. He's throwing sinker, he's throwing fastball, he's throwing cutter, and curveball mostly. And so when we look on the season, we look at the curveball, we're going to see, look at this, folks. Like, just look at these numbers. This team as a whole, not hitting the curveball particularly well. I definitely think this is a pitch that he's going to be able to throw and get some strikeouts. We're going to go to the cutter. The cutter, we've got nice K rates here, but the ball's going to be on the ground most of the time. If the curveball is working for Colin Ray today, strikeouts will continue to pile up for this particular lineup. So really like Ray here. And once again, this is just going with what we've seen. And excuse me, this is for the current season for all pitch types. We've got that back there. But I think this is another good spot where we take advantage of a high strikeout team. And that's kind of where we're going to hang our flag today. Continuing to stick to a few principles here, and this is something that I like. So we're going to move to another play here. Look, we usually have 3. I'm going to squeeze another one in, and we're going to stick with the situation here, going with a high strikeout team, none other than Yuri Perez. We're going with Mr. Perez out in Seattle, facing another high strikeout team. And so with Perez, what we see is that the K rate on the season isn't astronomical, right? And so last 30 days are going to be similar. He's around 24%, 26% to righties, 22% to lefties. What I like about this is the righties on this team, for the most part, strike out a ton, and most of the lefties do as well. So at 5.5 strikeouts, and that's where he is right now, at least on PrizePicks, I like more than the projection for Yuri Perez. I think this is a spot where he could really turn it on here and pick up some strikeouts against this team. We saw Cabrera not have a good day. Once again, I think Cabrera has been dealing with a blister. He also has he has some control issues. And as we can see, Perez may walk a couple guys, but he's not walking righties. So as long as he can stay true to that and really hang it on these righties, really pick up the strikeouts early, I think we see Perez get us across the finish line. Just need him to get 6. And I think this is a spot where he could have multi-K innings, especially in the middle part of this order. So Perez is definitely a guy that I like. And we've got four picks on the board for you today. And once again, you can take these picks, mix and match them around some of your other plays. And if we get the sweep, man, it's going to be a huge day for your pocket. So once again, we're going to do our recap and we'll get you out of here. So one of my top plays in the day, Luis Castillo, we've got him at more than 7 strikeouts. We've got Ben Lively at 4.5 strikeouts. We want more than that projection. Colin Ray, I don't like him as a pitcher, but I love the spot against Minnesota. More than 4.5 strikeouts. And then we've got Yuri Perez at 5.5 strikeouts against a really high strikeout team. I want more than that projection. Let's give you a bonus pick as we close it out. I won't give you analysis, but if you're trying to put a 5 pick together, this is one that I'm going to have on tap. Go ahead and grab Daniel Lynch, 4.5 strikeouts. We want more than that projection. And guess what? Even though it's a bonus, I'm going to include Lynch in the official tally, even though I didn't give out a full analysis. So we've got a 5 pick going. You should be able to get that in on PrizePicks. You should be able to get that in on Underdog. You should also be able to get that in on Vivid, although Vivid did have Yuri at 6 strikeouts earlier this morning. So and thank you, King of Smack. Said he wants Chief did the guys tell you I said thank you for the content the other day and helped tremendously. 134K. Absolutely, King of Smack. No, they didn't tell me, but I don't need any recognition. Glad we were able to help you out, man. 34K is a nice penny, and a few nice pennies to put in the bank account. Once again, you've been tuning to Take Your Pick'em. I am Chief. Thank you for joining us. Come in with your pockets empty. Leave with your pockets full. Congrats again to King of Smack on the 34K win. We'll see you tomorrow.